So, do you remember that day trip that I took recently from New York to Milwaukee for that whole Bob Uecker celebration? Well, hey everybody, once again, Zack Hample here for another day trip, this time to Chicago. And just like last time, this was the only bag that I brought with me. So, the flight lasted about an hour and 45 minutes, and boom! Here I was in the Windy City. And one really fun thing about this day is that I had a good friend waiting to pick me up at the airport. Hello!
Hello. Welcome back. Welcome to Chicago.
It's Wrigley Dan. You guys remember Wrigley Dan? I will link to a video in the description of this one that features this man hooking it up, and we're doing it up again today.
That was packed.
You guys ready for anyone?
Just us two. Thank you.
Enjoy the game.
Yesterday they took BP beforehand. I don't know if they are right now. I guess we'll see. What a beautiful sight. The batting cage was set up for a 1:20 p.m. game. Normally teams skip BP on afternoon games, but in this case they were going to do it. And by the way, the purpose of this trip was to try to snag a commemorative baseball that the Cubs were only using on Fridays here at Wrigley during games. More about that in a bit, but first, thank you. So, I was on the board, and as you can see, it was just a regular ball. The special ones, again, were only going to be used during the game. And that first one was thrown by Jorge Alcala, by the way. Pretty interesting drill that the Cardinals outfielders were doing here. You'll see the commemorative logo in moments on the shirt that a friend was wearing, but hang on because there were more baseballs to be snagged courtesy of John King. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, on the board. Well, not sure if I can get into the bleachers without a bleacher ticket, but look who I just saw here. Oh, Jeremiah Paprocki.
How we doing, guys? Good to
Yes,
see you guys.
sir.
It's been a while. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you. Congrats on your kingdom here. This man was fresh-faced as the PA announcer at what age when I met you?
21.
Wow, and
Now
now
I'm 26.
Five
Yeah.
seasons in.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
Love it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
all right, well, I don't know. I gotta try to find a way into the bleachers. If not, I'm gonna be begging for toss-ups during BP.
Yes.
So,
Well, I mean, there's still plenty of room to run around the park, too.
Definitely.
so-
And can I just show the shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Look at this logo.
Blue alternates.
Blue alternates. That's
Friday games here at Wrigley Field.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah,
see
yeah.
if it happens. But anyway,
Good
great
seeing
to
you,
see
man.
you.
Always a pleasure.
and
Yeah.
I'll throw his Insta. You can see it up here on the screen in the description as well. Show him some love.
Please do. Appreciate
And,
it. And go Cubs.
There it is. Well, look at this. I did find my way into the bleachers thanks to Jeremiah, who asked security if he could escort us in for a few minutes. Nice to know people in high up places. So, there was, as it turned out, lots of action. The Cardinals were being generous. They also hit a bunch of home runs. No one made a play on that one, and it bounced back onto the field. And by the way, what do you guys think about the circles that I've put around the baseballs? Is that helpful or annoying? Definitely not as annoying as my videography here. I did not have a videographer with me, and I didn't have a GoPro, so I was holding an iPhone in one hand and wearing my glove on the other, and just trying to capture the action as best I could, and I think I did a decent job. Yes, I came up with this ball, a home run, not sure who hit it, very friendly fan right there, and that was the end of BP, but I did actually get another ball that I did not get a video of. It was a toss-up from a Cardinals player, gave the home run to a lady. This was goodbye to Jeremiah and hello to the regular part of the stadium, and there was still a big part of the agenda coming up, but first I had to say hey to a friend. Yo, T! That is Terrence the groundskeeper. I love that man. We'll get him in the video later, but look at this. I got a wristband for the exclusive W Club, which meant that it was time to eat a whole lot of food. This is what the dining area looks like, and very quickly you can see a carving station on the end, followed by some desserts. I'm taking you through the food line in reverse order: some beef and tortillas, chicken, rice, and mashed potatoes with garlic. How about some hot dogs and sausages? And obviously there were a lot of people right before game time trying to get food, so it was hard to film, but over here there were 4 types of salad, and this is what I got from my main course. Yummy. Followed by a whole bunch of dessert because I am a sugar freak. Now, would you call this food free or would you call it inclusive? After you pay a lot of money for your ticket, then it is quote-unquote free and all you can eat. But anyway, the game was just getting started, and Dan and I began by sitting over here near where he has season tickets, but my actual ticket was by third base, and look at this. That bat would have ended up in the seats if not for the protective netting, but okay. 2 outs, top of the second, little ground out here to Nico Horner playing second base, and Dan was nice enough to film me attempting to get a third out ball. I believe that is Horner throwing the ball into the crowd, well short and a section to the right, so no chance for me on that one. This was my reaction. And this was a foul ball in the next inning that came close, and it should be noted that the Cardinals did not throw any of the third out balls into the crowd for the entire game. So that eliminated half of my opportunities, and I just stayed here on the third base side going for third out balls. So this was a Lars Nootbaar ground out to first base to end the top of the third, and once again Dan was filming me as I moseyed on down the steps to try to make something happen. And if you look closely right here, you can see Dansby Swanson chucking it to the section on my left, so I wasn't coming close. I was very frustrated and already getting nervous, so I decided to film some other stuff, starting with the future Hall of Famer Nolan Arenado, and after chilling for a bit, you'll see that I tried out a different strategy. So as for that strategy, well, here's a freeze frame of the ball boy. You'll see that he was tossing a ball up and down that had been thrown out of play. So it was very much a game-used ball. Here I am on the staircase asking him for it, and long story short, no luck, no love, so I got the hell out of there. And as for the Cardinals and their third out balls, that's Nico Horner striking out to end the third inning. Alec Burleson, the first baseman, ended up with it, and you can see what he did with it. He just jogged back to the dugout, never tossed it into the crowd. So that's just a little video evidence for you in case you didn't believe me. Now there's the Cubs Blues alternate logo on the Jumbotron, and there it is on the jersey of a fan walking past. It just made me want it even more, seeing it everywhere, and look how close I came. On this third out ball that ended the top of the fourth inning, Dansby Swanson chucked it right at me. I really think he was aiming for me, but it just went over my head. And I tried to grab it underneath this chair, but it trickled away from me. Womp womp. But on a more positive note, let's talk baseball history, shall we? Pete Crow-Armstrong came up to bat in the bottom of the fourth with 35 stolen bases on the season and 29 home runs.
Oh, go,
This was a huge moment. 30-30 club for PCA, joining Sammy Sosa as the only Cubs ever to have 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases in one season. And then after the top of the fifth, he was the one who had the third out ball, so he threw it into the crowd, not even close to me. And it just felt like time was running out. My remaining opportunities were dwindling. At this point, the Cubs had a 3-0 lead, so pretty much everybody inside this ballpark was in a great mood. But as for me, yeah, I was a little bit stressed, not gonna lie. So you can see how this game and how the afternoon moved along from here. Gotta love Cubs fans, and just a few minutes later I was near the ball boy getting a shot of him in the bottom of the seventh, and then Seiya Suzuki with a 4-run homer to put the Cubs on top 11-1. It was his 30th homer of the season, and it gave him 101 ribbies. So big moment for him, and now we're skipping ahead to the top of the 9th inning. I still had not gotten the ball, and I figured going for the umpire was my last shot. So this was the final out. Pedro Pajes popped it up to Dansby, and while the ball was in midair, I started moving down the staircase to get into what I thought would be the best spot. So here I was watching the umps walk off the field. Bill Miller, old school. Was he gonna hook it up? I called out to him, and hey Chicago, what do you say? I'm dancing like an idiot today.
I almost dropped it, I was so nervous.
Yeah, I was very, very emotional, in case you can't tell, and things were emotional overall at Wrigley because the Cubs' magic number at this point for clinching home field advantage in the wild card series was just 1. So everybody, well, except for the Cardinals in the dugout, was really happy, and I was happy to see this dude.
Everybody, it's Terrence! Woo! My man. All right, get back to work. I am. There he goes.
Now, as for the game, the Cubs got 12 runs on 12 hits, and a third of their hits were home runs. Nico Horner hit the first one in the first inning. Then Pete Crow-Armstrong joined the 30-30 club. Michael Busch hit one to dead center, and Seiya Suzuki hit a grand slam. Miles Michaelis right here, he was the Cardinals' starter in this game. He suffered the loss to finish his season at 8-11. And for the Cubs, Colin Ray, he was the starter, 5 2/3 scoreless frames to improve his record to 11-7. And after the game, security was not in a rush to kick people out. Always a party vibe here at Wrigley. And if you have W Club tickets, you can hang here for an hour after the game, and there's still sweet treats to be had. So I grabbed a Snickers bar, I grabbed a Haagen-Dazs bar, because why not? I even grabbed a third one later that I didn't get in the video, but like I said earlier, I am a sugar freak, and this was very much a celebratory dessert for me before heading off to the airport. So gotta get not only Dan, but Jesus on the left in this video. Awesome guys, it was fun to chill with them for a while after the game. And then we made our way out of the stadium through this very empty concourse. And I just love the nooks and crannies of ballparks. Fenway and Wrigley, the two oldest ones, are the most interesting by far. And this was it for me at Wrigley, my 11th stadium of the season. Not a huge total by my standards, but that's just how it went for me. So I poked my head into the team store briefly, and as for the Blues alternate uniforms, well, those pay homage to two things. First of all, the baby blue color that the Cubs wore on their unis way back in the day, and number two, Chicago's electric blues music movement. And you'll notice right here, there is a guitar pick shaped patch on the sleeve, so pretty cool stuff. And then it was off to the airport. Dan was nice enough to give me and Jesus a ride, and it was goodbye to Chicago until who knows when, and then goodbye to my friends at Midway. And I gotta say that these day trips are kind of great. Yes, they're exhausting. I got 3.5 hours of sleep, but to get in and to get out and to leave feeling so good about life, not have to deal with a hotel, no overnight bag, get to fly home and sleep in my own bed, yeah, I will definitely take it. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching.
Wait a second, we gotta make this pretty. Oh, I am hot.